When will it stop? But their big break was really through their MySpace page. And something like 14 million hits. You know, and then the video is getting like 4,000 hits per day, and it's growing every day. It's like ridiculous right now.
Did you see my YouTube video yet?
Yo, you
See my YouTube video yet?
Nah, man.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. I was just
But you know, it's just another way to you know, document your situation, your single, how many songs being played, you know, and what the popularity is. You know, you have those tickers on all those websites. It's just gonna add to your file, you know, your whole situation.
Preston, Warner Brother Music Group, conglomerate. I remember I tried to get a record deal over there. They didn't hook me up.
Well, yeah, we have a Warner Music Group is definitely taking a new direction in, as far as signing artists. And to your question, and I agree with everything that Mike and JP said about what will we do with your demo. Excuse me. I look at music now two different ways. Whether I personally like it or whether I can sell it. It's two totally different things for me. I love hip hop. Can't stop talking about it. I can listen to anything, any demo someone gives me. But at the end of the day, I gotta decide: is Funky Fresh gonna be selling this? Can I sell it to him, or can I sell it to Best Buy? And if I can't do that, then it's not good. It may not matter to me. You know, I can listen to my car all day long and love it, and I get stuff like that a lot. But if I can't convince these guys to sell it, it's gonna be kind of difficult to get a deal. That being said, you know, like Mike saying, you know, we do pay attention to charts. We definitely look at regions. I definitely call retailers all the time. Hey, what's happening with this record? Who's asking for it? And a new question that I ask my retailers across the country is, who's hot in your market? And usually they give me names of somebody you've never heard of. Like, oh, who is that? And I wind up getting a CD, and if it's the hottest thing in that market, what do I do with the demo? First question I ask before I do anything with any of our companies is, do you have a manager? Do you have an attorney? Because most of our labels do not take anything that's not solicited. So if you don't have that, you're already out. I can't do anything for you, because most of the time, I may be best friends, might go back a long way. He's actually one of my mentors in this business. But if he gives me a demo and there's no legal representation, there's no management, nobody is gonna even listen to me. I'm not even gonna have a conversation, because they're gonna say, Preston, why are you bringing this here? So, you know, I think, personally, I think all music is good in some kind of way. But we just have to remember that it is a business. And like you said earlier, these corporations only want to make money. So just make sure that when you do your music, I would say, look at it 2 points of view. If you like it, great. The girl next door like it, great. But can you sell it? Can you get, like they were saying about radio, that 15-year-old girl, and was it Medford? Will she buy your record? You gotta ask yourself that question and be honest. And then decide if you really want to take that next step forward in this business.
Good. Give them a round of applause for that information. It's really viable information. Because, you know, my thing is that cats here, you know, no disrespect to anybody, and I want everybody to know, you know, the information that comes out here and what I say is no disrespect to anybody, but is that Boston needs that kind of information. You know, cats are lost here. You know, like I always say, everyone's a rapper, everyone's in the studio, and everybody got an album. My thing is that, and I control, and correct me if I'm wrong, I control what goes on in Boston. There's no question about it, hands down. I talk to Mike, I talk to PJ, I talk to Preston all the time, and yeah, they ask me those questions. Who's hot? How many times have I sent you anything, Mike?
Oh, a lot of times.
Where's it at? And where is it?
On the desk.
Yeah. it's a very tough thing because with no buzz, nobody's paying attention. And it's very, very important. But you can't blame them. You can't blame them for the situations that they're in because one, there's no industry here. There's no outlet for them to go and say anything besides myself, because I've talked to a lot of cats on a day-to-day basis consistently. There's nowhere for them to go and learn. There's nobody to look up to. There's no rap stars from Boston to look up to for anything that matters. So this is one of the reasons why, cats are stagnant and lost in trying to get into this business. So this is what I'm trying to work out here, is help them get the energy rolling, inspire them even more, and get it cracking. Tashawn, we're gonna move on to management. Tashawn, I'm proud of you, dog. Me and Tashawn go way, way, way back. From hanging, making millions.
He used to cuss me on the phone.
Yes. But I love you to death, though. And I appreciate you coming out. Tashawn, Neil's management. I'm still waiting for that record, Neil, now that you're on. I got the voice.
That's the whole thing about being realistic.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, man. Management. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off. I want everything to be raw and to the point. That's it. So they can get it. Tell them how you got that 3-mansion house in New Jersey.
I want to go back to the question you talked about, marketing and branding.
Go ahead.
And on the management side and on the artist side, and you mentioned the fact that everybody looks the same, and for you as an artist, you might not find that look right away. You got to be patient with it.
Yeah.
You got to have the right people around you to even tell you that shit is whack.
Yeah.
Like if you remember Neil's first video, he was in a track jacket and a tie, and we paid the stylist for that, and it shit was disgusting. But he had to find himself, and him being the artist and him being creativity, you also got to let the artist kind of breathe too. Like you can't always crush what he wants to do. So it takes time, and you got to also be realistic, and you also got to have something with you, some swag. Like, even to this day, Neil's not the most fashion-forward person. Like, we put him with Jay, we put him with Puff to go party and try to get swag, but some people just don't got it. And you got to know when to surround your artists with the right people. You know what I'm saying? And it costs money too. So in the management business, you got to have dollars, because you got to pay to play. That's real talk.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Glad that came out. Glad that came out.
Yeah. And then going to the question about demos, but I try my best to listen to everything, solicited or unsolicited, because you never know. So I'll take music here because you might be the next producer, songwriter, next Neo, whatever. We got a producer right here, Jojo Beats. He came to me as a referral from one of my good friends, and he produced a top 10 record. I was on Neo's album, Do You. I was about to get a publishing check, almost $300,000.
Ooh, I need a cut.
You gotta work hard every day. You gotta live it, you gotta breathe it, and you gotta be really true to yourself. You can ask me questions. I don't know where to go with this, but ask me any questions now, and I'll answer. If you got any questions you feel like they might want to know.
Oh, I'm gonna stop early enough so they all can back you up in the corner. There's no question about that. But I want to get all this information out so they can take this and personally grab you on the side and do whatever you want to do. So.
And also too, as a man, you gotta know this business. Like you gotta be the traffic cop. You gotta know your radio people. You gotta know your retailers. You gotta know what's hot, what's not hot. You gotta have relationships. Because sometimes everybody might not have all the money right now to get played, but G-Spin might be your man, or your man is dope, you're a great friend of G-Spin on the humble, he might give you that shout on the air. So it's all about relationships, and try not to burn no bridges, because you never know. Like, I never knew I was gonna be here when I was calling Rusty, asking him to get 30 pieces of CDs from me when I was at college rep for Def Jam back in '97. I never knew I'd be sitting here with Bum. I used to go to Northeastern, and Bum used to come up there with the Source and his records. I never knew I'd be here, so relationships is everything.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. I want to slide over to retail. I'm saving special people for certain different situations. So y'all like it, make me feel special. I won't go to retail, which is selling your records in record stores such as myself, Top-Notch, Visionary, Best Buy. Everyone wants to put their music in a record store. I want my music in a record store. I want it in a record store. That is not it. Because you put your music in a record store doesn't mean it's going to sell. Oh yeah. My line is always this: is cats come to me and say, "Yo, I want you to sell my CD in your shop." And my question is, who's gonna buy it? Some get, what do you mean? Or you get, fuck you then. All right, but you can't go nowhere else. No. Okay, but realistically, it's like, who's going to buy it? Besides you giving it to your friends, besides your man and them having it, besides your family getting it, and everybody in your block got it, who's gonna buy it after that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Like, who's gonna buy it after that? If you haven't done any promotion, no buzz, no radio play, who's going to buy it? It's like people, from the consumer point of view of it, what people don't know, what they don't see, what they don't hear, they don't buy. You all consumers, you know. You are the same way. What you don't know about, you're not going to buy it. What are you going to buy over a mix CD? You're going to buy DJ Clue or you're going to buy DJ Hold My Nuts? Which one are you going to buy? Go ahead, Greg. Best Buy. I'm sorry. I mean, if there's any kids in here, I'm sorry. I really am. I just get emotional sometimes. I got passion for this, for real. I'm really trying to see this happen for us.
So, me and Russ have this conversation all the time because I go by the shop and talk to him.
Yeah, see, Best Buy even comes and talk to me. Go ahead.
True talk. It's real talk. This is 20 years later?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when I was, I'm 24 now, so yeah, I was 4.
Yeah, so the thing that I probably would say to everybody is that retail is the last stop. You got to do all of this stuff first and then come to see us. Because you have to start off with your management, build your buzz enough that people want to hear your record on the radio. That is what's going to turn around and make us respond to it. I can tell you that I work at the Fenway store, the one next to the movie theater. So in my store, and I also have relationships with pretty much every person who has my position throughout the 2 districts. And I can tell you that there's maybe 2 artists that I've ever been asked for from Boston, ever. Turn and Dre Robinson. Those are only 2 that I've had someone come into my store and specifically ask me about.
Yeah.
That's the only ones.
In defense of that, I don't want to cut you off, you can finish, but you look at retail in 2 ways. You look at Best Buy as a corporate part of it, and you look at Funky Fresh, Top-Notch, and Visionary as a street part of it. On the street part of it, I get requests for a lot of people. Triple Threat, Smoke, a whole bunch of people. Cats who got music playing, but ain't selling no music. Don't have their music in the street. And that's the bad thing about it, is that there's people out here that want your stuff, but you get it played on the radio and you don't do anything else after that. Hustle. Man, get over here. Get up here, man. So, in defense of that is like you said, on the Best Buy side of it, the corporate side of it, you get Term and Dre Robinson, and on the street side of it, there's everybody. Go ahead.
But the reason I said that is because regardless of whether it's like we're talking about Dre and Term, and you get more requests because you're closer to the ground, the point is that it's only people that have done a certain level of work.
Right, exactly.
You get Triple Threat's name because they've been blasting shows for like a year and a half.
Exactly.
And people know their name because they work hard. You see what I'm saying? And they've been doing radio, they've been working. You hear like Smoke's name because he's in the DVDs.
Right.
There's a certain level of work that's being done before you know, before you get to retail.
Right.
You don't just make it and then bring it straight to us and be like,
Right.
oh, it's straight, it's in the store.
Exactly.
Because just like you said, like, if you haven't done all this work, then there's no need to even talk to us. You gotta get, in fact, you have to build it to the point where retail is trying to find where you're at. You know what I mean? What
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
like, I heard about this cat and I keep hearing his name. When is this record